From May 12th to May 15th, 2012, protesters throughout Spain marked the first anniversary of the 15M movement by retaking the streets and squares of over 80 cities.
A year ago, on the 15th of May, all over Spain, people started occupying public space.
Groups of people came out to the squares, and they decided not to go back to their places.
Everything that happened last year made people more conscious about what's going on.
Over the past year, the 15M movement has been growing and moving from the central squares into local neighborhoods and communities all across Spain.
After the first stage of the 15M of the last year, and after the people expressed on the squares their indignation, they began to think what could they do in their daily life.
And all during the whole year you have seen also going from the squares to the neighborhoods and creating like groups of solidarity.
To mark 1 year of continuous resistance, the 15M movement organized 4 days of demonstrations, workshops, discussions and actions. On May 12th, hundreds of thousands of indignados, students, workers and the unemployed all over Spain took to the streets.
The movement is coming back, and we are going to occupy the plazas again.
In Barcelona, people set up tents and rebuilt the infrastructure of the occupied square, turning the square into a laboratory for action and a hub for information about the many different platforms that grew strong through the 15M movement. On May 15th, 1 year since the first square was occupied in Spain, the movement celebrated by organizing a day of action. The first actions targeted banks that are evicting people from their homes.
Today is a day of action. Right now, there are mediators talking with the banks inside and affected people also inside. We have got that the people could go inside to make a negotiation. This action is being repeated in 4 different banks in Barcelona.
In the afternoon, students marched from Plaza Catalunya to the headquarters of the Popular Party, Spain's right-wing party that took power last November. They staged a mock funeral and mourned the death of their public education system.
The quality of the public university is going down. What we are seeing is that public education is a right, and what they're trying to do is to put the rights into the market.
The money you've got to pay to study is increasing by 60%.
The day of actions culminated with an encampment outside the CaixaBank's headquarters in Barcelona. Hundreds of people set up camp to draw attention to the bank's role in creating and perpetuating the financial and housing crisis in Spain. In the coming months, these networks of solidarity will likely prove to be an essential source of strength as they confront the next wave of the crisis.
It's not just happening in Spain, it's not just happening in London, it's not just happening in France or United States or Latin America, but it's happening everywhere. The only way is to have a lot of mobilization on the street and from a wide spectrum of different people.